Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are streaming in multiple locations, actually across the world today,
Across the
on
world.
different platforms. So you guys might be able to see different chats, and that's all good. When we ask you for things, just comment in whatever platform you're using, and we'll be all good. So today we're going to talk about how to stop replacing clients every 90 days and how to build a legacy client business. We're going to do things pretty differently today. And this is a working workshop. So, what we're going to do is we are going to get down to business, right?
Yeah.
As we talk through some key points, then every few minutes or every kind of step along the way, we are going to ask you guys to write some things down. We're helping you create your legacy business model. We're helping you really understand how you can run a business that's going to be in alignment with the way that you want to live. And also, alongside that, how you can serve your clients to the best possible outcomes.
Yeah, because this definitely benefits you. Having a business this way benefits you in terms of you're not always having to go out there and chase new business, new clients. You're able to create predictable income, and it's just enjoyable to work with clients you really like over a longer period of time. But so it is great for you, but it's also great for the clients because the biggest wins for your clients, the biggest results, the biggest outcomes come from working with you over a longer period of time. If clients work with you for a short period of time, they can get a quick win or two, right? So the quick wins can come early on, but the big stuff, the really big wins come from working with you over a longer period of time. So it's even best for them.
And we really think about that as two different phases of coaching. And the first phase of coaching is about stabilization. When a client comes to you and they're in acute pain and they need a solution right now to get out of the hell that they're in, that's the first phase of coaching. That's stabilization. And for most people, that can last anywhere from 1 to 3 months or maybe even 6 months. After that phase comes mastery. And what we really want to do is help prevent our clients from going back to that hell or that acute pain that led them to our doorstep in the beginning.
Yeah.
I always say doorstep.
Doorstep.
So that's our goal. We want to take our clients from stabilization to mastery.
Yeah.
And we want to continue to empower our clients with tools to live the best life that they can live in whatever space we're in.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is first, we want to make sure that you can hear us, that you can see us. If you can, type in the chat and just
Morgan
say,
says yes.
just say here, yes, I can see you, whatever you want to say. Let us know.
Derek is saying yes. Sarah's saying, yeah, we got it. Cool.
So it seems like everybody can hear us.
Yep.
Laura, we're good? Okay, awesome. So basically, we don't want to be starting over at scratch every 60 to 90 days either. And we know that if we are starting our business over from scratch every 60 to 90 days, what do you think are some of the things that are going to happen to us? Stress, burnout. Yes, exactly, Morgan. Burnout.
Well, I know for me, I'm not a lover of marketing and sales.
Ew.
I do it effectively, but I like working with clients. I like helping people. And so I don't want to be always out there trying to find new clients, trying to find new business. And if you have to do that every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, again, for me, that's stressful. It will burn me out. And it would have me doing a bunch of things I don't want to be doing constantly, right? Like I don't want to constantly be looking for new people, selling them. Like that's not how I want to live my life. It's not what I'm put on this earth to do nonstop.
Yeah, and it ends up just being a lot of work. You can't really focus on serving people, the people that you sell, if you have to always sell. And most people don't, if you're here now, it's because you don't want to have a huge team. You don't want to run a huge machine. The only time that I ever see that being really valuable is when it has a business that's typically financed. So it's backed by private equity, it's backed by venture capital. We work with founders who go that route as well. And it's a lot of work and it's a very different game. There's a different sense of responsibility. There's a lot of value in really being a solopreneur and running your own ship, but only if you're not trying to do all the things or you're delegating everything to a huge team. And we see that happen a lot. And that's happened to us before, where we learned a model to outsource everything, and then you essentially become an administrator.
Yeah, you're managing people.
You're
Right.
just running a team.
Which is fine if you like that, but I personally don't want to again spend the majority of my time managing a marketing team, a sales team, whatever it would be.
And being responsible for their output. So there's so much research that supports that, people who have, let's say, a 40-hour role, they aren't really working those full 40 hours in a job. And so then you have to become a micromanager of your team's time too. And that's a whole separate scenario.
I like to think about it like, so Ashley and I, we own a wine bar and retail store. This is where we're sitting right now. And
It's kind of one of our favorite places to be
so,
and work.
yeah, we like to work here. Right now, we're not open. The wine bar is not open. So we're in here kind of doing this. And it's a nice environment, so it's nice to work in. But we can do this because we have this. We can have a wine bar because we have this legacy client business model. But what I was going to say is like even if you're not a coach, an expert, even if you have a wine bar as a business, guess what the most fun, profitable thing is? Having long-term clients. Like sure, in the wine bar, some people come in and have one drink or buy one or two products and leave, and we never see them again. But most people, the most people we enjoy having are people that come in once a week, once every other week. We know them. I had people yesterday, they came in. I'm like, hey, Susie, I got a new white. I know you love kind of a Sauv Blanc. I know you love a Pinot Grigio. I got a new white Tempranillo for you to try. I think, and because I knew her, because I have a good relationship with her, it was like an awesome experience for both of us. And it's the same in your coaching, as an expert business. When you have those relationships with people, the work is just so much more enjoyable because you almost have this shorthand of being able to work with each other because you just know each other.
And it's really about that high value relationship and not having to start over. So, a lot of our clients we've worked with typically on average, like 3 to 6 years, many of them over 10 years. And our average client value is over $100,000. Most people's average client value is $3,000 to $5,000, right? And that's even if they're working with them long term. So it's about a relationship. So what happens is, even if you work with this person for just a couple of years, if you build a relationship with them and if you build trust with them, when they have a problem in the future, let's say they go off on their own for a bit and they're doing really well. When they have a problem in the future, what they're going to do is they're going to come back to you and say, this is the problem I have. And sometimes you're going to be able to help them solve it. And you're going to say, awesome, let's jump back into working together. This is what it could look like, and let's do this. Or sometimes you're going to say, I'm so glad you reached out to me. Hey, I have a resource for you. Basically, I'm not the right person to help you solve this problem, but let me connect you with somebody who can. And they're going to come to you and you are going to become their person. And that feeling in and of itself is invaluable. So if you think about it right now and you think about who are the people that you can go to that you trust in your life, to be yourself, to go to with a problem, to ask for help, and you think about the value of that relationship in your life, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
You become that person to your clients professionally. And it's amazing because you have a third person perspective. You're not in their day to day. You can be objective and be there just to show up for them. A lot of people that we talk to have a hard time imagining how they can continue to serve someone. And that's typically because when we set up our business, there's so much information about being specific about solving a problem, a very specific problem. And when you start your business, that's the way to go. You do want to focus on positioning yourself in the marketplace to solve a very specific problem in any industry that you're in. For us, we've created that even within the wine bar, right? That we do a very specific thing that is very different than anyone else
In our town,
yes,
for sure.
And you want to be able to communicate that really well. And
no-
then,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
go
No,
ahead.
good. I'll never forget. I had a client that she helped people with personal finances, and we were talking about this type of topic, and she's like, I'm going to help someone make a budget in like the first month, and then I'm done. What do I do?
Yes.
And that always stands out in my mind because she thought I help them make the budget, then they're off and going good, right? Well, things don't really work that way. It's like if you help someone come up with a plan, but typically all the results come from implementing the plan consistently over time. Like if you just give someone a budget, the chances of, even if it's the best budget in the world, the chances of them using that consistently now over the next year is maybe like 15%. And then the chances of them using it over the next 5 years is probably like 2%, like very low, right? So she had an eye-opening experience of seeing, oh, okay, the plan, the budget, that's just step number one. There's like 10 other things that I can be helping them with, even just in implementing you doing the budget, right? Let alone what happens when they're budgeting, they've been doing well, they've paid down some debt, they're saving money. Now they're going to have other questions for you. How do I invest? What's the best? They're going to have continued financial questions, So that always stands out in my mind is like, yes, people typically are going to need your leadership after you help them with the first thing, the first plan.
That's one of the biggest examples that sticks out in my mind too, because I remember that conversation. And aside from the logistical things that you just mentioned, which are really important, strategic financial decisions are primarily emotional.
Yeah.
And we started talking about, well, so what happens when you want to do X and your partner doesn't want to? Or what happens when you get yourself in this position? And we went through so many circumstances that come up for us around money, right? So there's always a next level and a next layer. And people say this a lot of times in the health industries too. It's like, well, I help a person solve the immediate acute symptoms of Lyme's disease, let's say, as an example. And it's like, okay, that's awesome. And then what happens? A lot of times their symptoms start to come back, or there are environmental circumstances that aggravate their health concerns. What can they do to be proactive and get to that point of mastery so that they can live the best quality of life possible? And your clients usually want more from you.
Yeah. And you want to know that you're a problem solver, right? But you're also a problem creator in solving problems. Whenever you solve a problem, you just get to the next level of something, and then there's a new thing.
A new set of problems.
So like, let's say you're helping someone, let's say someone wants to write a book and you're a book coach. Well, maybe the first thing you promise on the front end is you help them write a book outline, right? Once you have the outline, then what? Or maybe you help them come up with the title of the book. Then what? Well, then you need the outline. Then what? Then you need a chapter or two. Then what? Okay, let's say you write the whole book. Then what? Then you got to learn how to market and sell your book. Then what? Maybe then you got to write a second book. Then what? And
I just did all those things.
so there's like, yeah, you did. So there's like many things, like you can see like, okay, once you have your book written, that's awesome. You solved that problem, but you created a new problem. Now you have to market and sell it, right? So it's like that with everything.
So you want to help your clients with mastery, and that's really about consistent implementation and being back kind of in the wild of their life and helping them figure out how to navigate the challenges that are going to keep coming up as they get to the next level and the next level and the next level. So I really want to get into some of the things we want you to work on today. So if you have a computer that you're typing notes on, that's great. Or if you prefer to be, old school and go to paper like me, this is where I write all my notes down for today, then we're going to get into that now. So the first thing that I want you to write down, and we'll give you just about a minute to do this. The one thing I want you to keep in mind is that at the end of this workshop, we're going to ask you to submit this to us because we want to help you with the next step. So we are going to personally review what you send us from the workshop. I'm just letting you know that in case you want to keep your notes in a certain way and send them to us so that we can review them at the end and kind of help you tie this all together for your legacy client business. So first things first, what led you to start your business? Why did you start your business? Just 1 or 2 sentences. Ready? Go.
Right.
Okay. So keep that. Type in the chat when you're done. Josh, awesome.
Cindy, great.
Stacy, perfect. Cheryl, great. Morgan, awesome. Christina, perfect. Awesome. Okay. So it looks like, done, done, done. Perfect. Okay. So, second thing we want you to think about, and this is the really fun part. So, you know why you started a business. And I'm not a mind reader, and I could be very, very wrong about this, but most of us start a business for a few very specific reasons. If you're like me, it's because you're a bad employee. No, I'm just kidding. It's because you want freedom to make your own decisions. I think one of the things for me was that when I worked for someone, I could never really serve clients the way I wanted to. And I felt like a lot of the times we were just putting band-aids on things instead of really getting to the root cause of the problem. And the structure or the personnel, the people that were above me or calling the shots, were always inhibiting my ability to do that. And while I understand that in a business or a corporate structure, I felt stuck all the time because I didn't feel like I could really offer my clients what I knew they needed. So sometimes it's about impact. It's about purpose and feeling like you're living out your purpose and serving your clients in the best way possible. Sometimes it's about freedom. That's another big motivator for me. I really wanted to have control over my time. And for well over a decade before the last couple of years, we really just focused on our coaching business. And then I decided we should open a wine bar. Whoops, sorry about that. But that was fun. But we could only do that because we had time. So freedom, that was something I always wanted to do. And it's been an amazing experience. I think freedom is another big factor.
Yeah. So with Ashley, it kind of allows you to dabble in your other
I'm a total
interests,
dabbler.
in your other interests, in your other passions.
Well, I'm really a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So I like to monetize all of those things. The third thing is about money. If you work in a job and there's a cap on what you're earning, it's a trade for money for time. And when you work with clients, you get to focus on results and outcomes and to charge accordingly for that, which oftentimes results in you working a lot less time, but only if you play it smart. If you get stuck in the hustle and grind model of starting a business, it is very, very hard to ever get out of it. And that's the purpose of setting a solid foundation for what you want your business to look like. So
yeah, there's a meme where someone says, careful, I started my business because I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. Now I'm in my business working
a 9 to 9,
7 to 7. So we don't want to create that situation.
Mm-hmm. So the second thing that we want you to write about is, what did you think your business would look like? Go back to this when you started your business and just write down a few bullet points of how you thought it would look or what you thought it would be like. And we'll give you guys a minute to do that. Type done. Oh, perfect. Morgan, you're on it. Way to go. Type done when you're ready. Cheryl, done. Awesome. Laura, awesome. Josh, perfect. Stacy, amazing. Cindy, great. Cool. Sounds like enough of you are getting this done. Okay. So I think you know where we're probably headed next. Sometimes the way that we thought it was going to look is not how the way it actually looks now, right? And I think if you think about it, how many things have you been told about how to start a business? I can think of about 100. What about you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Many different things and conflicting things.
People come to us all the time and they're like, well, I can't start a business because I don't have a website. I haven't hired someone to do branding. Those are some of the big ones. I don't know how to create content. I don't have time to post on social media 40 times a day. I don't have an audience. Right? What are some of the other things you can think of?
I don't have money. I don't have capital to start a business.
Ooh, I can't start a business while I have a job.
Right.
So there could be a million reasons behind what it should look like when you start a business. What you should imagine, what you imagine that it's going to look like. And now we want to tap into the reality of what it looks like now. What does it look like? And most importantly, what does it feel like? If you had to even just give it one word, what does it feel like to own your business now? And what do things look like? Are you getting clients? Is it easy? Are they sticking around? Are you having a hard time getting clients? Do you have things that you want to do, but you don't because you get stuck? So write down for 1 minute now what your business actually looks like. Are you timing me?
Okay.
Most of the time, there's a pretty big gap between what you wanted your business to look like and what it's actually looking like now. And I think most people don't expect that, especially because usually when you started your business, it was because you had a talent of some sort, a specialty, a talent, an asset, something that you're really good at. And a big question is, are you even doing that now? Are you even bringing the asset that you have to your business? Or are you mostly stuck in all the logistics of how do you market? How do you sell? How do you get more clients? And then set in that space where things are resetting constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So for most of us in those beginning phases, there's a pretty big gap between what we wanted our business to look like and what it's looking like now. So notice the differences and write them down right now. What's the difference between the vision you had and the reality of your business now? Church bells.
Well, I guess it's every half hour. So
We have an old historic church building here that's very cool. Do you think that's enough time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let's get into a little bit about what we do about it. So, what do you think is getting in the way of having the business that you want? What are some of the things that you've seen get in the way of having the business that a person wants?
Well, I would say there's internal stuff and there's external stuff. So there's internal stuff, which Ashley and I would call like founder chaos, like the business owner chaos. Like you have fears, you have doubts, you have insecurities. You might be starting a marketing campaign and you're just, you're already thinking this isn't going to work. People can't afford this. People aren't going to say yes to this. People aren't going to want this. All those thoughts and feelings that come rushing in. So I would say a lot of what stops people is that internal chaos and survival brain.
I think that's definitely a huge part of it. And most of us make decisions in our business based on emotions.
Yeah. Because even if I said to someone, hey, go out right now and make a 1-year offer to that client. Most people who have never done that are going to be like, I can't do that. They wouldn't sign up to work with me for a year, or they wouldn't, you're going to have internal
Purchase
stuff.
my biggest package.
Right. Yeah. That they're just X. They're not going to do Y. And all of that is internal. So some of the things we're talking about in terms of building a legacy business are very simple. If you have it structured the right way, business in this way is actually really simple, but it's going to kick up a bunch of internal chaos for you and reasons why these things won't work for you, right? So
another big thing that I see happen is a mismatch between what they've been taught to do and what feels in alignment with who they are. And those are two really big distinctions.
yeah.
So a lot of times I will have people tell me that the way that they were taught to run their business was to immediately make a client an offer of $10,000 and that they're going to serve this person for 6 months. And when I ask them, is that something that you would ever agree to or buy? They tell me no, I wouldn't. So I can't really imagine why other people would do it. So money beliefs play a huge part in this too. And if you've historically had a job where you've been paid an hourly amount of money, it's very, very hard to get out of that mindset of thinking about money and time. So typically, people think about work in terms of hours. So it's like, okay, if someone pays you $5,000, how many hours is that? In fact, the other day, someone said to me, I can't even imagine what I would have to do for someone for them to pay me $10,000.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting. So this is where so externally, some of the things that can hinder you is your business model. How you deliver your services to your clients is part of your business model. So a lot of times I see people get caught up in, they're like, okay, if I'm charging a certain amount, then I need to give them some people a certain amount of my time, or you kind of equate time with you for the value. But think about this. The other day I had a client, her business is doing great. She was going to go build a whole new website, which was going to take her either thousands of dollars
Or thousands of hours.
or thousands of hours. And she's like, she told me, I'm thinking of this. I got this plan. I think it's the thing to do. She told me that in about 2 minutes. And in 10 seconds, I said, no, don't do it. It's a waste of time. For your goals, building out this new website's a waste of time. So we spent about 3 minutes on this. But my value to her was not the 3 minutes we spent. Or let's say I would have let her talk 2 hours about it and then said no. The value was stopping her from doing something that was going to waste either $10,000 or 1,000 hours of her time.
I think about this so much in terms of being able and willing to offer your clients long-term help, because usually in that initial stabilization phase where you're getting your client out of their current help, you are giving them a plan, and just having a plan eases their mind. But some people never execute the plan ever, because every time they go to get started, they get overwhelmed and they shut down. So implementation is what gets someone to mastery. Consistent implementation is exactly what gets someone to mastery. And that's what they need your help with. So that as you give them a plan and they're ready to go and they feel better, and then they start to execute the plan, they need your help and support when those challenges pop up. And they need your help anticipating that those things are going to pop up and being prepared for how they can handle it when they do, because that's inevitable.
Yeah. Because whenever someone has a plan, the first thing they want to do is not do the plan, right? So a big value that you have to your clients is just focusing them on sticking with the plan.
So that's the next point that Michael's making. So right now, I want you to take 2 minutes. I think that should be enough.
Yep. Okay.
To write down the value that you bring to and offer your clients. All the things you can think of. And if you can't think of any things, then we know we have a challenge here. Good question, Morgan. I just mean, what is it that you can offer to that person? It doesn't have to be in a package. Like, what's the value that you're going to bring to their life? What can you offer them that other people are not offering them? How are you different?
Like, let me give you an example. My offer with my client with the website is, my value there was just preventing a client from doing things that waste their time.
And money.
Right. That was the value I gave her there.
1 more minute.
Ashley and I are getting notified that later today we're having severe weather here.
A lot of severe weather.
I mean, that's common in April, but so I'm just saying it's funny. We're getting pinged from our weather apps, even though it's beautiful right now. It was beautiful yesterday. Beautiful here.
Yes. Cheryl, same in Michigan, I bet.
Yeah. We've had a ton of rain, thunder, not in our town, but like 20 minutes away, they had super huge hail. The Dane County Airport in Madison, all the cars' windows got knocked out by hail.
That's crazy.
2 days ago. Yeah. Flooding. Yeah. So, it's April. It's fun.
So now you should have written down, what's the value you can bring? What are you offering someone? Not like your offer, like, I'm doing X for this much money, but your offer in the sense of the value that you're going to add to their life. The next thing is, what problem do you solve? Take a minute to write that. And hopefully you can write it clearly and quickly. So here's the thing. When you're clear on the value that you offer a client and the problem that you help them solve and how you can continue to serve them, your offer to renew becomes very easy. So with clients that I've worked with for 10 years, it goes like this. Hey, we're at the year mark. Should we keep doing this? The majority of the time, the answer is yes. And the money hits my bank account that day. And they pay me for a year in advance. And the fact that I have a few clients who do that allows me to do other things. So when you work with just a few clients one-to-one in that way, that creates stable recurring revenue for your business. It also gives you the opportunity to serve people in a leveraged way. So then you can also have some form of community, mastermind, group support that you can offer to a larger group of people who can pay less money. And that's ideal because not everybody can pay a year in advance one-to-one to work with you. That makes sense. That's the highest level of a legacy client business. But you can create an opportunity for people to work with you in a leveraged way in a group where they can pay less money and be part of a community and have an opportunity to continue to connect with you. Most people aren't doing that because they don't think their clients want it, but they're never asking them. They're never asking them if they want to continue to work together. They're never creating an opportunity. And sometimes actually your clients will be upset that you're not going to offer to continue to help them because they came to you in the first place because they needed your help and they trust you.
Yeah, it's either that you're not asking, you're not making the offer to them, or the way you're doing it is focuses someone's attention on the wrong things.
So the ideal way to go about things is that instead of solving one problem and ending the relationship, you solve the full pattern. Instead of short-term engagements, you build long-term relationships, high-value relationships, high-trust relationships, where people want to keep working with you because they know that you're aligned in terms of your values together. They know you have their back. They know that you're going to be there, and they know that you're going to show up and deliver on helping them.
And there are things, it's just like a marriage proposal. So a lot of times when people want to make an offer or even like a longer term offer, they really focus on the words how they're gonna make the offer, which is important, but it's not the most important thing. What happens is what happens before that, right? Just like in a marriage proposal. I don't have to get the words exactly right when I'm proposing if what I just did the 2 months prior was leading someone to want to marry me, right? So it's important that you make a legacy client offer and that you do it in a way where people want to keep working with you. They have that trust with you already, you know?
So how we came to this idea was through our own business. When we started out, we knew a lot about psychology and a lot about helping people and a lot about creating change. And our first business was centered around dating and relationships, and we know a lot about dating and relationships. So what we did to build our business was we definitely did the hustle mode thing. We worked like 24/7 to build our business, and we invested a lot of money, over $100,000 in mentorship. And that didn't include the private education to get our doctorate degrees, which we both have too. So there was a lot of money invested into our training, into getting the experience that we needed. And unfortunately, like the doctoral degrees that we had didn't actually help people with dating. So we also hired people to help us figure out how to help people with dating, right? So it was a lot of time and money invested. And we hired a lot of mentors who did a lot of things that didn't feel right to us. And we ended up in a place where We were constantly on client calls or sales calls the entire day, right? I mean, sometimes there were weeks where I would have like 20 sales calls in a week. That's crazy. Even though our business was successful, it was exhausting and anxiety producing for me because I didn't like committing to work with people for a long period of time for a large amount of money before I knew
In the beginning.
How we would work together. And that's how we started understanding like there has to be some way of getting to know each other that's a short period of time where we can make sure we're the right fit. And then once you know you're the right fit, that's when you step into the legacy client model with someone. And you make an offer to serve them in a bigger way, on a deeper level. Once you have established that you are a fit for each other. So we never say, get rid of your front end program. No, we don't believe that. Don't get rid of your front end program. Don't get rid of the way that you're serving your clients in that initial phase. Don't get rid of your first offer unless it's for like 6 months. That's too much, right? All of those things are great assets and opportunities to get to know your clients on a deeper level and make sure you're the right fit. But then it's about what comes next. It's about thinking about who you can serve in a deeper way. And there might be people in your world right now that you think you could do that with. People you've worked with in the past. Maybe there's been a break of time in the amount of time that you've worked together, but that you could reach out to again or reconnect with, and write those names down if you can think of anyone. If you can think of anyone right now that you've worked with in the past or that you've had conversations with that might be a fit to work together now, write those names down. Those are going to be the people that you're going to want to go to.
It's a good start.
And to reconnect with.
Yep.
So we moved on from sales calls all day, being in back-to-back meetings, client calls, always stacked. One thing that we did that I always hated was we did night group calls, and that was just the worst for me because I'm tired at night. Like that's not when I can best serve people. And I felt like we were always on. Always getting messages, always getting emails. It was very, very exhausting. And we would tell ourselves, hey, oh, this is going to settle down next month, or this is going to settle down when we have two more clients, or this is going to settle down when we earn an extra $20,000, or this is going to settle down when X. And so really we just kept moving the goalposts until we couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. And that's when we redesigned the legacy client business model. So you have a small group of clients that you work with for years. They know you, they trust you, you're doing your best work. You're not over flooded with clients, so you're able to show up. Your income is predictable. You don't have to constantly sell, you don't have to constantly market. It's amazing. And your business actually supports your life. Before we opened the wine bar and took on other business ventures, we were working like 2 to 3 days a week, right?
Yeah.
So what we just did today is the beginning of this work. We want to see what you have come up with, and we're going to help you refine it. But if you want help actually doing this, we put together a case study for next week. It's 4 sessions over the course of 4 days, short working sessions designed to build out your full 12-month plan around this. So we're actually going to help you structure your business or restructure your business. It's not time heavy. There's not long calls. They are Monday, Wednesday of the next upcoming 2 weeks. And we're going to keep it small, just a few people. So if this resonated with you today and you're confident in your answers and you feel like you can run with it, that's amazing. Go do that. We love that. Send them to us. We're happy to look at them.
Yeah.
But if you listened to this today and you're like, you know what, I really am stuck and I want a different way to run my business that's going to give me more of my life back, give me more freedom, and you think that you might want our help doing that, we're happy to find out if it could be the right fit. We dropped a link in here so you can check out the case study and what we're up to. An advantage of a case study is always that it's going to be at a discounted price, which is amazing. And you're going to have an opportunity to find out if it's the right fit for you. So at the end of the day, you really have 2 options. You can stay stuck where you are now and keep repeating the same cycle, or you can start to build out a legacy client business, whether you do that on your own or you do that with our support. And we will look forward to you sending us in. Can you type in our email too for them to send us into? You're going to send your homework from today to info@crucialhabits.com. And we'll check it out and we'll follow up with you and give you some ideas. Let us know if you have any questions. And
Yeah, just click on that link right now just so you have it open for yourself.